The OTAs, for better or worse, want to kind of say that here is this centralized brain and it's going to work directly with the guest. And we look at it as, no, how can we empower all of those teams to actually be better hosts, better strategists, and actually work together with technology? Whenever I look at the industry, one of the things that does actually sadden me a little bit is that people follow very, very quickly. I think the fact that we started out with so many different innovations that didn't work. So we tried occupancy-based pricing, which now in the age of AI would be called outcome-based pricing. We launched our first messaging in 2015 and then realized that AI wasn't really ready to do it automated. Yesterday, we launched the partnership with Uber. And I think most people, had a real kind of like stand-up moment. They're like, well, what is a PMS doing launching a partnership with Uber? But Mews didn't start off as a PMS, it started off as a guest platform. The reason why we built the guest platform in the first place was because we thought that every single hotel is its own social network. This is one of the things that we're launching now with the semantic layers, that we're able to contextualize every single thing, all the knowledge that a team at a hotel has, that is incorporating every single detail of the property, now becomes something that's a self-learning model that is able to actually kind of say, these are the types of guests that like to be here, but this is the team that's here, and this is the way that they like to work. And in that way, we can actually get to a place where there's a more symbiotic way that hotels actually work with technology. I don't know whether that's a PMS or CRS, a housekeeping tool, whatever that is. It's not an acronym. It's just a tool that somebody in the hotel needs to use to fulfill their task. We're kind of bringing back the power to where it belongs, which is to the property. These were all things that the property used to do. The connected trip only happens on the trip at the property. It doesn't happen somewhere in the cloud. And the best people to actually serve that guest are the people who are actually working for the hotel. So the OTAs, for better or worse, want to kind of say that here is this centralized brain and it's going to work directly with the guest. And we look at it as, no, how can we empower all of those teams to actually be better hosts, be better strategists, and actually work together with technology? That guest has chosen the hotel. It wants the context of that hotel. It wants the local flavor. It wants the knowledge of all of these people actually kind of working in unison, not as some kind of force from the outside that basically comes in and then says, well, actually for all of that, we're going to take a commission. That's one of the things that I'm so happy about, launching our guest messaging hub today, is that it feels ready. It feels that we're actually able to get to a place where hoteliers can actually trust the central system to actually kind of answer for them. We've always had this idea that we need to kind of fundamentally build a system that isn't supposed to kind of compete with anyone, but fundamentally is working for our hoteliers. The star rating is broken. That most people think that, a 1-star property is the amenities that it has. And a 5-star property is basically the fact that it has a bidet in the room. We don't think that that's actually true. A 1-star property is really a property that you kind of spend 8 hours in. That's where you're just sleeping over, and then at the end of it, you're going. It's a motel. A 5-star property is somewhere where you want to encourage the person to be for a very, very long time, to feel ensconced, to feel surrounded by those team members. And that's what 5-star hospitality to us actually looks like. What I would love to see is a hotel taking a break, having 5 minutes and actually thinking, what do I want every single one of my guests to feel? How do I want to be remembered? Which type of guest is perfect for my Friday market? Which type of guest is perfect for my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday market? How do I want my strategy, my revenue strategy to actually be? On Tuesday, am I okay actually selling for a low price because I know that I have different amenities that I will want to kind of walk that guest up because the AI will be able to actually kind of upsell them? Or do I want to kind of have it as a Friday strategy, which is the highest price to the highest bidder? And I always want to make sure that I capture the highest price that I can. I think these are the types of questions that too many hoteliers don't ask themselves. And I think that that's also because we don't make the tools that ask those types of questions. For me, I just look at it as actually just technology. It's just, the same thing that we had with the internet. and the same thing that we had with search. The way that I see it is that this should be a complete blessing for hospitality. Because if you think about what hospitality is, it's a people industry and it's humans providing services for other humans. So if AI now goes and builds the rockets that we need, or builds all of the cars that we will need basically, well, humans still need to work. And this just so happens to be the oldest industry, in the way that you had nomadic tribes, coming, bringing gifts to one another when they would actually kind of come and stay on their land. I look at the modern version of that as, this is my data, now provide me with a service. It's me giving you the gift of my data, the gift of knowing who I am, so that you can use it for revenue, for all of the different outcomes basically. But you give me the gift of maximizing that experience, of making sure that you make me feel welcome with your gift that you're bringing to me. That's actually going to be the last industry that's disrupted. And if anything, we get to actually kind of do less of the really, really boring administrative work and more of this truly human work. That's just an API, but in human form, you want to be surrounded by people. You want to learn from people. You want to understand, how people think, how to broaden your horizons. And that usually happens with a sense of place, and coming to a place and coming to very, very special places. You want that kind of freedom to exist so that we can go back to basically being those nomadic peoples that just like to experience and like to give gifts and receive gifts in response. And that's, I think, the future of humanity, and it's the past of humanity. The reason why we started Unfold is that we realized that we are nothing without our community of hoteliers. And I think that we've been blessed on this journey that hoteliers look at us not as a technology vendor, but truly as a partner for their business. That's why we decided to bring all of them together. We want people to be meeting each other, and maybe there's new business opportunities that they can come up together, or they can learn from each other. One of the greatest things about hospitality is just how interconnected and kind of nice it is, and how open to sharing it really is. And those are the types of things that we try and foster here at Unfold.